Alright guys, welcome back to Gilded Gaming and Final Fantasy XIV. Shadowbringers. Woo! Been a moment. Let's see if I, You know what would help? Is if you had a green screen, Jay. That would help. You know, it's like I was forgetting something. For certain. Hey, look at that. It's like magic. Alright. So, tonight, we've got more main story. We don't even know what it is. All question marks, huh? All question marks. The manager of sweets. Oh, that Emmett Silk right off the bat. I love it. And we're looking at above item level 400. We're finally getting items that we're going to want to put on. Love it. Good evening to you, miss. I do hope you are well rested. The Exarch and your companions are presently gathered in the ocular. He asks that you convene with them at your earliest convenience. Alright. And this is the Manic Pixie Dream Realm. That's something new. Are pixies like one of the beast tribes, maybe? Pink Pixie appears to be spying on some children. Interesting. We'll check that out later. I don't know what that is. No, let's do it now, actually. I'm too curious. Let's find out. It happened again. Had another scary dream. Me too. In mine, a bunch of toys became a monster and chased me all over. What? Had the exact same dream. This can't be a coincidence. The pixies, I'll wager, they're behind it. Those beings in Ilmeg? The grown-ups say we must never go near? Aye, them. Mammy said that if you're naughty, they'll come in your dreams and drag you off to a world of nightmares. Truly? Oh no, I haven't been doing my chores. I must hurry home and finish them. Interesting. It seems they're right. What a dilemma this is. And to think they pin the blame on us. We like fun dreams, not scary ones. Something the matter? Ooh ah. Giving a pixie a fright sneaking up like that, and how can you even see me anyway? Wait, I know you. You're the new King Sapling. I've been wanting to meet you since forever. Elheim's your name, is it not? My name's Tierbeck, and I'm the leader of the Dream Spinners. Oh yes, I'm an expert at spinning dreams, and for this they call me the Weaver. Though weird and eccentric are often thrown around too, but whatever others say, there's no place I love more than a children's fun-filled dreams. But there's a problem. We've recently been shut out of the dreams. At around the same time, I received word that children are being racked by nightmares, so I came here to investigate, and it's just as I'd feared. I suppose a few things bear explaining. Simply put, someone's trying to ruin our precious Lee Meg, the Garden of Dreams, and they must be stopped. You know, this problem concerns mortals as well. And as an upstanding member of your kind, it pains me to see your fellows suffer from nightmares, doesn't it? It pains you. Yeah. Sure. But of course it does, and that's why you'll lend me your aid. Without further ado then, let's set to work solving this problem. Come to me to the place called the Sullen, west of here. I'm gonna rendezvous with another ally. Okay. Yeah, it's a beast tribe. Alright. You know, considering this is actually the current expansion, I think we might actually do the beast tribes this time. We've been ignoring them in all the old expansions. But, no longer. Getting out here. Too easy. Actually, this is the other quest. Where does she go off to? I don't know where she went. Did she leave the area? Yeah, no, she left the area. Alright. Well, we'll track that down in a little bit. Let's head back to the Docile Gate. See what the main story's all about. I'll mess with my UI a little bit. It's been a while, but still. Like... do that. Get more space in the middle there. I don't know. I keep them in this 3x4 configuration because that's the way my buttons are laid out on my mouse. Helps my brain, right? Pixie Beast Tribe dailies are solid XP from 70 to 80. I'll keep that in mind for other jobs when you get there. Balls on hair or something. Alright. Do you have business with the Crystal Exarch? Just say the word. Of course I do. Warrior of Light Darkness. Dark Lightness. How's it going tonight, Minus? Hey, we just gotta get like Ishtola to join the group and then we got the full squad.
Ah, there you are. You're just in time to welcome our guest.
Oh my god, again? Dude. I love this guy. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Please. Did I not explicitly tell you that we would be meeting again soon? Lest you forget, I made you a promise. I have no intention of meddling with your mission. I come only to observe. Your Exarch friend in particular has piqued my curiosity. Summoning you all like that. Most impressive.
Wonder how their bodies are doing back in the other world.
Us to believe you've come only to observe, or that you might deign to lift a finger to aid our cause if called upon. Even if there were a sliver of truth in your words, I would never accept your help. Not in my darkest hour. Not after all the suffering your kind has wrought.
It's really hard to like want to join with him, considering he's trying to destroy whole worlds, you know?
So petty. I meant what I said, and I said what I meant.
I just love the idea that the villain's just like, oh, you know what? You're gonna ruin my plans. Fine, let's be friends. Like, what do you mean be friends? Ah, we should be friends. It'll be fine. But what?
Wage your war against the Sin Eaters. Put each and every Light Warden to the sword. Prove yourselves heroes, brave and true, and I will be glad to embrace you as allies.
See, I wonder if we kill all of the Light Wardens, Will we not just swing the pendulum back the other way and make the first world fall too far into darkness? Like, isn't the whole point here that you don't want to go to either extreme?
Allies worthy of bearing the burden of truth. Surely such a partnership would be preferable to yet another round of fisticuffs. And thus did the olive branch wither and die. Pity. Well, let no man say I did not try, futile as it was. Though I suspect you will seek me out when you grow tired of making the same mistakes. Difficult decisions lie ahead of you. Decisions best made with the benefit of knowledge to which only the eternal are privy.
Yeah, see, so here's the thing. His actions only tell me one thing. They don't make any sense. But I don't think he's actually a character to not make any sense. So Emmett's actions actually tell me that there's something I don't know, right? There's something like the Warrior of Light isn't privy to yet that makes what he's doing make sense. Like, we don't know everything that's going on.
For now, I shall resume my shadowy vigil. Whatever you choose to do, make sure it's worth watching, would you?
Also, I love the idea that he's like eternal. So it's like, okay, well, you're messing up my plans, whatever, I'll just do it again. You know, like, he's content to just watch you win because you're gonna die eventually. And then he can just do it again. Like, he lives forever, whatever. You don't even live that long.
A vain attempt to make us doubt our chosen course, most like. As if we'd believe a word that passed his lips.
And that's kind of the way I feel like an immortal being. Like when you see like a vampire or something, that's how they should be. It's like, I'm gonna live forever. You want to save this town? You go for it. But I'll come back here when your grandchildren are in charge and I'll just kill them. You know, like, whatevs. I got other stuff I can be doing.
Unless you think there is some truth in what he says.
A colonel, perhaps.
If he simply meant to lead us astray, he could have done so without revealing himself. At least, not in the manner he did. It goes without saying that an alliance with the Ascians is out of the question. But since we have no way of knowing where they might be hiding, it seems only logical to press on with our mission, even if our enemy seems content for it to succeed.
Then let us discuss the Sin Eaters. I would begin by thanking you all for your efforts thus far.
And as long as the Ascians can stay alive, you have to assume they'll win eventually, right? Because whenever the Warrior of Light wins, it's a temporary win. When the Ascians win and destroy a world, that's a permanent win, right? So you'd think that eventually, over the eons, they would eventually win.
In striking down the Light Wardens of Lakeland and Ilmeg, you have accomplished more in your short time here than all of our forces managed in the last century.
That may be, but the Wardens of Calusia, Amareng, and Raktika remain.
Are there 3 wardens left?
Indeed, and their precise whereabouts are as yet unknown. Which is why I propose we divide our forces and conduct a systematic survey of each region. Once we have found our quarry, we may then determine how best to proceed.
I'll take Amareng in that case. I know the lie of the land well enough.
So Amareng is where she was. Kalusia is where he was with the Sin Eater lovers. And then the third place, I'm assuming, is where Ashtola is.
If there are no objections, I will make for Calusia. I have connections there both in and
Was it
Gilmore that may prove
Raktika?
useful.
Then I would ask that you journey to Raktika.
Yeah.
There you will find Y'shtola.
Yeah, there we
With
go.
her assistance, I doubt the Warden will evade your grasp for long.
Is Y'shtola the conjurer you and Urianger used to talk about?
That's right. Though we haven't spoken much since she left for the forest.
I fear I may be to blame for that. I had every intention of relaying the news of your arrival, but she is disinclined to speak with me.
Interesting. Why?
You have visited her, have you not? Might I trouble you to...
'Twould be no trouble.
My thanks. While you are all out in the field, I shall be here attending to business. I had somewhat fancifully contemplated joining the search myself, but other matters demand my attention.
What other matters? You can't help but not fully trust a man whose face is constantly shrouded in shadow.
A missive from Lord Vorthry. He invites me to join him in Yulmore to discuss the recent conflict at Leda Loran.
And? Did he even bother to offer any bait? It's obviously a trap.
I should be surprised if it were not. Nevertheless, I must seize this opportunity to speak with him, even if only a few words are exchanged.
Why?
Though my power will be much diminished so far from the tower, it is a risk I am willing to take. Master Alphino, might I impose upon you to accompany me to Yulmore prior to beginning your reconnaissance?
I feel like Vothry is already a lost cause. Like, he's never going to move away from the Sin Eaters.
Of course.
Then let us make ready. Safe travels to you all.
And so we're splitting back up again, but we are going to find Y'shtola. I'll accept it. And only 3 Light Wardens left. Before you leave, I would make a request of you. There's a church, or rather, the ruins of a church at Fort Job. Might I ask that you go there before seeking out Y'shtola? There's a place where people once gathered to worship the light. Alas, it has long since fallen into disuse. Yet, within that hall, there remains a tablet whose writings I believe may prove of use to Y'shtola. At the very least, such a relic would make a suitable gift for your reunion. Most considerate proposal. Very well. Ere we depart to Raktika, we shall journey to go unto Fort Job that we may secure this relic. Okay. We got our way. Part of me feels like the story of Shadowbringers is all going to be just set up until we get the entire party together, you know? Like, we've taken out 2 Light Wardens. We've secured 2 of the lands. They say there's 3 left, but once again, assuming each Light Warden has their own zone, Emrang, Kaluja, Raktika, we still have one more zone we don't know about. Curious. We can fly here. A party soon divided. We are splitting up, I guess. Here amidst these ruins, we'll find the Church of the First Light. Within that hollowed hall, the tablet we seek. Time is of the essence, my friend. Let us be quick. Ooh, we get gear. Actual gear. Upgrade to a grade feels harsh. It is technically an upgrade. It's so slight though. We probably should just wait until we get a couple more item levels before we start popping these. Because I mean, honestly, that's a tiny upgrade. But still, it is an upgrade. I'll take it. 400. All right. At the height of Lakeland's prosperity, these sites served not as man's final bastion, but as a testament to his ingenuity and architectural prowess. The Church of the First Light was responsible for many such marvels, building majestic chapels at every corner of the realm. Alas, the flood with its inexorable tides would drown nigh every one, and did all but put an end to the religion as a whole. For creatures which then did rise from the fulgent deluge were seen as agents of divine punishment, sent to devour sin and sinner both. Whence came the name Sin Eater. The people were lost, seemingly forsaken by their god. Yet where there is light, there hath ever been shade, and 'twas in dark they sought solace. The most devout of the worshippers of Shadow they did then migrate to Raktika Greatwood, but this is a tale for another time. For now, let us find what remaineth of the chapel here. So Raktika has people that are worshipping the dark instead of the light? Interesting. Hey, Karanova, how's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Today on Gilded Gaming, we're going to be doing more main story. Because why not? This summer. Here's what we came for. Church of the First Light. Aye, this is indeed the church we seek. It's surprisingly intact. What little is left of the churches we've seen up until now has always borne the scars of decades of disuse. Its subterranean construction hath done much to protect the hall from the ravages of time, yet the reason for its remarkable preservation may be deduced from its decoration. As faith in the light did wane, so rose reverence for the dark, and its followers did want for places of worship. To be plain, the standards which do adorn these walls belong not to those who built them, but to worshippers of the dark, the Knights Blessed, who subsequently migrated to Raktika, yes? Indeed, 'twas beneath the shaded boughs of Raktika Greatwood that they finally found sanctuary. Often, many times, did Yulmore make spurious overtures of friendship unto them, but they are no fools. The Exarch knoweth full well that Ishtola in her seclusion doth labor to learn all she may of the Blessed and their past. Is why he sent us here, I now see. We haven't dealt much with religion in Final Fantasy XIV because, like, typically people that are religious are the ones summoning the primals we're always knocking down, you know? And, like, people from Eorzea talk about, like, you know, the Seven or whatever, but, like, there's not much talk of religion, I guess. The tablet of which he spoke no doubt provideth a glimpse into the history that she so yearneth to comprehend. Well then, we better hurry up and find it. You ain't wrong. Let's get to it. Could it be right here in the middle of the room? Search your surroundings for the tablet. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out. So we're just going to see it from the center of the room. Beep, That's been deleted. Oh, we can't go farther left than that. That's Thancred's butt. Aha! On the table, you've located a time-worn tablet. It's like, hey guys, did you look at the main table? You might look there yet? Remember choosing a patron deity of the 12 during character creation? Only to have it never mentioned a single time? Yeah, I do remember that. I kind of understand why they're not big on religion, considering primals and all that. You know? Within the altar, thou sayest. Not escapeth thine eye, it would seem. This is indeed the tablet we seek. Curious, these engravings predate the Knights Blessed. If I'm not mistaken, they are writ in the script of the ancient empire of Ronka, whose capital once stood in the midst of what is now Raktika. Ooh. Okay, I'm not wrong, right? The Ronka ruins are from Final Fantasy V, right? Yeah, Ronka ruins is the name of the ruins you go into in Final Fantasy V at the end of the first world, where the air crystal is. Underneath Crescent Island. 'Twill be no small matter to decipher them. A fine gift for our seeker of truth. 'Tis plain the Exarch understandeth the Stola only too well. But come, let us quit this place and make ready our journey into the woods. So another 4 or 3. I think I'm just gonna keep saving these. Like, I feel like 3 item levels isn't a big enough upgrade to be worth popping something that could be used on another job, you know? I'm not sure how many item levels will be a big enough upgrade that I think I feel the need to open it up, but like I feel like that's too small. Ere we depart, there is a custom of the Knights Blessed which I feel compelled to elucidate. As one might expect, they deem light to be abhorrent, and everything it touches befouled. Thus do they take the utmost pains to protect all they can from its taint, including their very names. To speak plain, it is the belief of the Blessed that one's own name must ne'er be uttered in the light of the everlasting day. Yet this commandment precludeth not the use of another's. Thus do parents protect their children, and in rare cases, masters their disciples. So it is that Y'shtola have taken the name of Master Metoya. Lest we offend them, I bid you speak not her true name in the Blessed's presence. That explains that. Like, we had seen in the preview or whatever that they were calling her Metoya. That was like super confusing. But now we know why. With that in mind, let us speak with the guard who keepeth vigil at the Great Woods border. All right. Let's go. Going to a new zone. Oh, right there, huh? Well met, traveler. What business hat brings you here? Yes, of course, right this way. Ooh, new music.
No matter how far he goes, man cannot resist looking back on the path he has walked. The untold stories and secrets of the past can be more alluring than the promise of tomorrow. So he braves the forests of Raktika in search of mystery and wonder. Of Ronka, to which all seekers of hidden truths are inevitably drawn.
I think the Ronka ruins had like roots and shit going through it too. I mean, it was underneath Crescent Island, and then it like takes to this like. Then there's also the up in the air, like that's where you find the airship and stuff.
Vast though these woods may be, they are, by and large, uninhabitable.
Why?
Not so the swamps of Cydia, however, whose sparse foliage permitted man a foothold.
Hug. You just follow me around now? He's just trolling.
No lands must remain beyond our grasp. Go forth, conquer, rule. Forgive me. A sudden pang of nostalgia for those halcyon days. Exploring virgin territories, subjugating primitive peoples, all for the glory of Garlemald.
He's just, you know, having a nostalgic moment with us.
If you've brought your ivory standard, I'll be happy to tell you where to stick it.
Can we not simply take a moment to enjoy the view together? Or would you rather I spied on you from the shadows? Much more of this, and I may very well begin to regret my show of good faith.
If you really want to stay, then help us fight.
No. I think I am an observer, nothing more.
No.
Even shielded by the shadows of these boughs, I feel the light's presence most keenly. To accompany you is taxing enough. To fight is out of the question.
I will suffer your company if I must, but not your commentary.
How often does it do that? Every time the music kicks up, I guess. "'Tis plain our Asian counterpart meaneth to follow wheresoever we lead. Were it otherwise, he would not suffer the overabundance of light in these woods." He's just hanging out here now. "Verily it pervadeth every corner, and so long as the Light Warden remaineth, the Sin-Eaters shall be free to prey upon these lands without searches. If naught is done, it is but a matter of time before the Blessed succumb. 2 years past, a swarm of Sin-Eaters did lay waste unto their largest settlement, killing a great many of their priests in doing so. Though some few did survive, they knew not how to go on. Wayward souls in want of a guiding hand, for mercy Y'shtola hath provided that which they sorely needed. They have since endeavored to restore their home, and hither shall we bend our steps, to Fort Gong." He's just gonna travel with us now. Oh my god, I love it. Oh my god, we're already at level 77 already. Like straight ahead, pretty much, there's gonna be another ether current. Get stuck in your head, man. I don't love a good swamp. I'm waiting for more Final Fantasy V references now that we got the Ronka ruins. Come on, you gotta. What is this enemy on the ball? Or is it like rolling around on a coconut or an acorn? Or is it a pot? I think it's hiding in a pot. Alright, anyways. We're gonna be inside this little fort. Or not. Wait, how did you go from 154 yalms to the northeast to only 152? After traveling from over there, we moved more than 2 yalms. Interesting. Here's one right there. There must be 2 very close together. And for some reason it switched? That's my theory. We'll find out if we grab this one. And we're gonna be having this music for like the next night or two, huh? No, 24 to the west. Alright. No ether crystal here. Looks sort of burnt out a little bit on the burnt side.
I see little sign of recent activity, nor hath any meaningful progress been made with the reconstruction. Mayhap Y'shtola sought shelter elsewhere. Come, let us quit this place.
Oh.
Now, surround them!
Okay. The blessed. They all seem kind of pale. Oh, no, not these ones.
These senators, they're not like the others.
Seriously, dude? You can't tell a regular person from a sin eater?
There's a reason for that. Lower your weapons, please. We mean you no harm.
How is it they can speak?
Seriously, guys?
It's a trick. They mean to kill us all.
Did you forget other people existed? Kupo? Can't resist that. That's a good line.
That will seem a lot less amusing when we are forced to kill them.
Oh, for the love of... I had hoped that by accompanying you, we might come to understand one another. But all I have come to understand is that you have a knack for inflaming the natives. You've committed the cardinal sin of boring me. And so, I retire to the shade.
This is not going to help our cause.
Good luck.
Don't you just vape out of here, dude. You son of a bitch.
There! Did you see that one disappear?
Into darkness, though, so that's good.
I preferred La Habrea.
Oh, is this Stola? I think it's her.
Enough.
Yeah.
Report.
Nice.
Master Matoya!
Look at her! Decked out. Looking good.
We apprehended them as you ordered, but are you certain these are sin eaters?
The intense light of the ether I saw was unmistakable. If not sin eaters, then what?
The Warrior of Light, maybe?
'Tis passing queer that Y'shtola should mistake us for the enemy, is it not?
It is kind of a big issue.
Mayhap it hath been too long since last she beheld the radiance of thine ether. Master Matoya, hath time truly made strangers of us?
Nay, I recognize you, Urianger, Thancred. And this is Minfilia of the First, of whom you spoke before.
Just so. And knowing as thou must that we come in peace, might I prevail upon thee to have thy comrades lower their arms?
She doesn't recognize us?
Explain this other presence in your company. The one I know not.
What?
There is but one manner of creature in this world whose ether is suffused with such an abundance of light.
Girl, you know exactly why. Come on.
Mine apologies, Master Matoya, but thou art mistaken. Before thee standeth our dearest comrade, the truest hero among us. Though she is but recently arrived here in the First, not one but 2 Light Wardens have already perished by her most puissant hand.
Has taking out the Light Wardens made our light even stronger?
It cannot be.
Too long, clearly.
Master Matoya?
Lower your weapons. Forgive us this hostile welcome. Come. I would give you a proper introduction to Raktika and its people.
Freaking Matoya is like in charge of the damn place. Everybody else is just like studying it and stuff. She's just taking over her little section. I guess Alize was kind of in charge, but I mean, she was in charge of like a band of refugees that were slowly dying. It wasn't quite the same. You've been busy since arriving in the first, I gather. I would hear the tale of your travails in more suitable surroundings. With Fort gone yet to be rebuilt, the Knights Blessed have made their home in a settlement to the northeast. I will wait you at its entrance. Follow the path through yonder gate and you will find me soon enough. Okay. If it's within like 200 yalms, we'll go check it out. Let's go see if we can find this Aether current real quick. This water is shallow enough to ride through. Except for this part. I really wish you could see Aether currents from farther away. Sometimes they're right where I think they are, I just can't see them yet, and sometimes they're not, but I can't tell the difference until I get really close. Oh, there it is. So we're heading towards an Aether crystal up here. There's like almost no reason to fight the monsters that are just out in the world in Final Fantasy 14. They're just in the way. They're never going to be part, like, the main quest always spawns in its own monsters. Most other quests typically spawn in their own monsters. The monsters out in the world are just kind of there. After the beginning. I mean, in A Realm Reborn, that wasn't true. You would actually go out and fight the monsters that are out in the world, right? But since A Realm Reborn, like, if a monster's just already there, it's not even part of a quest. It's just in the way. Because the quest monsters, it's like, click on a spot and they show up or something, you know? Yeah, we're about to hit 77. We're getting so close to max level. I feel like we're definitely ahead of the curve. Like, this quest is... what? 74? Like... There you are. I was beginning to worry. Much like the 12s would, this forest has a way of dealing with those who stray too far from the beaten path. But I digress. Let me show you the way... show you the home of the Knights Blessed.
Slitherbow is the largest of the blessed settlements. They worship no gods, instead revering darkness itself. It is a curious kind of faith, but one which has granted them the strength to persevere in the wake of the flood.
You'd think if they worship darkness, it'd be darker in here.
I hope you weren't expecting a grand feast by way of welcome. They are a simple people. Now, I would hear of your travels away from prying ears. Come.
Now that we're actually in Shadowbringers, I'm actually interested to see some actual, like, dancer gear, too. I mean, this set is like, you know, our ranged DPS set from
I see.
Stormblood, but it's not really a dancer
the
set.
Light Warden of Raktika. In the days after I arrived in the First, I too relied upon the Crystal Exarch for guidance. But his penchant for secrecy and the telling of half-truths soon lost him my trust. And thus did I strike out on my own. My work eventually led me here to the forest, which I have come to know like the back of my hand. I cannot say with certainty where your quarry is hiding, but I am confident I can narrow the search.
Well, go on then.
Some few thousand years ago, this forest stood at the heart of the Empire of Ronka. A great many relics of that civilization can still be found to the east in Ixmaya. Or rather, could be found, were the area not fiercely guarded. Ixmaya, you see, is home to a tribe of warriors whose lineage is said to date back to the time of the Empire. Any attempt to enter their territory is met with lethal force. They offer no warnings, and suffer no trespasser to escape. Needless to say, my every attempt to survey the area has been thwarted.
What's going on in this picture here? Are all three of these people Y'shtola? They all have the same skirt and the same shoes. And the same feathers. Why are there three Y'shtolas in this scene? What's going on here?
Mayhap the Warden hideth there, full knowing none may approach it for fear of these protectors.
Oh, okay.
As for the tablet, I find the timing of its discovery suspiciously convenient. If I did not know better, I would think someone was trying to curry favor with me. Regardless, it will take time to decipher these writings. Yet I would not be at all surprised if they somehow held the key to entering Ixmaya unmolested. The Exarch has a nose for serendipity.
The Exarch, much like Emmett, knows more than he's telling us.
If there is aught I can do to assist thee in unraveling their secrets, thou needst only ask.
Thank you, Urianger. I may well take you up on that offer. While we set to work, might I suggest you take a tour of the city? Should you be in any doubt as to the importance of your role as the Warrior of Darkness, the people here will surely cure you of it.
I must say, Y'shtola, while most of us have struggled to come to terms with our altered circumstances, you seem to have adapted rather well.
Lest you forget, Master Matoya and I dedicated our lives to uncovering the truth which hides at the heart of our world. Though separate, the fate of this reflection is nevertheless bound to that of our home. That I would be daunted by such an invaluable opportunity is absurd. But what of you, Thancred? Could it be that you are still struggling to come to terms with the nature of your young companion?
My struggles are none of your concern. Quite why you would speak thus and in this company, I do not know. Perhaps you left more of yourself back in the source than I assumed. If you'll excuse me.
I'm gonna hit a nerve.
He understands that I'm not the same. That I'm not her.
Understands, perhaps, but does not accept. The question being whether he ever will. And whether you will, more importantly. As difficult as your circumstances may be, they are yours, not his. 'Tis you and you alone who bears ultimate responsibility for your life. But you need not make any hard choices now. Why not go and get some fresh air, clear your head?
Level 77. I am not indifferent to Thancred's troubles. Nevertheless, I will not apologize for holding him to a higher standard after all these years. He has ever been a man of considerable resolve, and that is what I will continue to expect. Though it heartens me to know that some of us remain ourselves in spite of our present circumstances, I can but imagine how Alize and Alphino have changed since arriving here in the first. Yeah, change is part of life, but we can only hope it changes for the better. I'm not gonna point out to her her faults so she can figure her own thing out. You're right. And after my untoward remarks to Thancred, no doubt he thinks I changed for the worse. I will have to speak with him later. Returning to the matter at hand, I really must begin work on deciphering this tablet. In the meantime, perhaps you should take a look about Slitherbow. If there's anything you need, pray speak with Runar at the plaza. Okay. Runar, what's up, bud? Grab this real quick. Welcome, friend. Welcome. My apologies for our less than hospitable greeting earlier. Tell me, what is your name? From where do you hail? From Crystarium, I see. And this tablet you've brought may help us find the Light Warden here in Ratika? Well, you are welcome to stay with us for as long as you need. Come, let me show you around. Would it be alright if I joined you? Of course, of course. Anything for the guests of our dear Master Matoya. Thank you. She means a great deal to the Knights Blessed, doesn't she? If not for her, we may have all perished in the Great Fire. With our priests slain and our homes in ruins, we were at the mercy of the Sin Eaters. It was she who drove them back. With her sage guidance, we were able to rebuild. Before long, she became a central figure in our community, a great oak within whose shadow many have come to find solace. That is not to say that there were those hesitant to grant an outsider such authority, myself included. Words. Perhaps it is the smile in her eyes when she speaks of the sunless sea. I feel whole again, and now that she is with us, I have no doubt the others feel the same. She is as much a part of the Knights Blessed as any of us, and we are grateful for all that she does in the service of the dark. But you did not hear this from me, yes? Now, you should know there are certain customs we ask guests to adhere to so long as they reside within Slitherbow. To show reverence to the dark? In a word, yes, but fear not, it is not too involved. Let us begin with something simple. Follow me. Ingvar. Should you see any of our people come to this chamber, they have likely returned from a journey beyond the borders of Raktika. We use the water stored here to cleanse ourselves of the light's impurity. A simple and perhaps peculiar custom, but it is one of our most important. Would you two kneel just a moment that I might rid you of the light's impurity? And good luck with that, bud, but okay, sure. Pour the water on us and be like... pours the purifying waters on the warrior of light and she just disappears. As Runer lightly sprays you with water, your skin begins to tingle. And with that, you have been cleansed of the light's blighted touch. How do you feel? I'm not sure, to be honest. Not refreshed exactly, but I do feel different. Has this water been treated in some way? Only blessed by our priests. They are practiced in the arcane arts. As such, it is said their prayers imbue the water with a faint, dark energy. A prickling sensation. No one has ever spoken of such a reaction before. It's like you put holy water on a vampire or something, or demon. I wouldn't say it was an unpleasant sensation, but I too felt something strange. The dark aspect of this water should have no discernible effect unless... By the gods, Master Victoria was right, you are sin eaters! I jest. What you felt was likely no more than the chill of the water. Yeah, that was it. Perhaps now would be a good time for you to acquaint yourselves with the people of Slitherbow. For that, I must teach you a customary greeting. Alin Tuta. In the language of Vronka, it is one of several ways one might say, good evening. The world is not as safe as it once was, and this greeting lets us quickly discern friend from foe. Is there a handshake or a gesture we should know too? I would hate to offend anyone. You need not worry, merely speak the words Alin Tuta and they will know you as friends of the blessed. I'll await your return here. Now go. They are like to be heartened in your knowledge of our ways. Okay. Sure. Go greet some peeps. Yo, old person. All beef tuna. Elderly woman smiles warmly. Nice. Old woman love it when I add tuna to them. Ah, newly come traveler. I'm Chisi, and welcome to Slitherbow. You must forgive us if we seem strangely reserved. We are a quiet and taciturn people. Silent and serene as the sunless sea, the quiet makes it easy to discern the presence of eaters and other dangers here in the woods. Welcome, friend. I take it you will remain in the woods for some time, yes? Be wary of these woods. You will find poison in near everything you see, but fear not. Our medicinal tea will help keep you healthy. Ask and it is yours. Lovely. Poison. Can't wait for that dungeon. Everyone was so kind and gracious. I was nervous at first, but I'm starting to feel at home. There's still much I have to learn about the Knights Blessed, but their faith and strength of will is nothing short of inspiring. I can see now how they've built such a thriving community. Ah, you're returned. Very good. No doubts they were glad of your company. It's been too long since we had visitors. Remember, if you have any questions, if there's anything you need, do not hesitate to ask. Speaking of which, we must arrange food and lodgings for your stay. As friends of Master Betoya, we cannot ask for payment, but if you would be willing to lend a hand. Sure. We are fortunate indeed to play host to such generous souls. The task I have in mind is simple enough. All I ask is that you take a jug and water the crops in the square. May I help too? Of course. One of you can do the filling, the other the watering. Speak with Isabel when you've finished. She will be relieved to hear the crops have been tended to. While you take care of that, I will see to your room and a warm meal. Okay. Right then, I'll fill you with water. This is the only jug I could find which was small enough to lift, but I'm afraid there's a crack in the bottom. We need to hurry to the garden before the water leaks out. Okay. 45 seconds to complete the task. Alright, yeah, the jug. Maybe an Aether Cart quest there? Only half full. Let me refill the jug for you. Watered. Well met, travelers. I observed you earlier speaking with others. Have you need of something? I've watered the crops, and my apologies for not noticing sooner. I've been rather distracted of late. Watering the crops was always Tadia's duty, but she's no longer with us. We have since taken to sharing the duty, but though never with guests, you are most kind. Is there anything else we can do to help? We could plant something if you like. There's no need. The plot is small, it's true, but it provides with enough to survive. We ask no more. I don't know how you manage. Have the Blessed not considered leaving? Life would surely be easier almost anywhere else. I can understand why you might say that, but the easiest path is not always the right one. Tell me, do you know our history? How our faith came to be? Yes, I believe so. The Knights Blessed was initially formed by those who lost their homes in the wake of the flood. What began as an occasional gathering of survivors eventually grew into a community which ultimately decided to strike out on its own in the Raktika Greatwood. So you've read your history. But there is a history that is told, the one that is lived. Like so many in those times, the first of the Knights Blessed lost everything, their homes, their loved ones, all they held dear. To make matters worse, none could say what became of the souls whose lost to the flood when their bodies were reborn as Sin Eaters. People were without answers, without hope, their gods having drowned among everything else. It seemed that nothing was beyond the reach of the light. But soon they realized something. In that truth they found new faith. A belief that the souls of the departed could yet find peace beyond these burning skies and the sunless sea above. That is why we pray for the safe passage of wayward souls unto that blessed black abyss, for the return of the night, that we might someday look upon the kingdom of heaven with our own eyes. We remain in these woods for the selfsame reason our founders first chose them, that we may lead lives of simplicity within the shade of these trees as a constant reminder of our faith. With so many seeking paradise in Yulmore, it's refreshing to find people who value a humbler existence. You're kind to say so. Many consider our way of life foolish, so it must seem to those who yet cling to their worldly possessions. In times such as these, when everything can be taken away in an instant, it is all too easy to lose sight of why we fight to go on living. It is not to hold fast to material things, but to hold those who went before us in our hearts, to keep alive the legacy they have left us. This we must do for them, our children, the generations yet unborn. Keep their legacy alive. Okay. Quest complete. You're the guest Master Matoya was telling us about. Please, you have to help me. I've searched high and low, but I can't find my friend Karnas anywhere. I fear he's run off to Fort Gone again. It's where we grew up, but it was abandoned years ago after the Sin Eaters attacked. The place is teeming with all manner of beasts now, and Master Matoya has expressly forbidden anyone from setting foot there. I don't know what's gotten into him lately, but we have to find him before he gets hurt. If you should find him first, I want you to tell him our password. Tuktu. He's the skittish sort, so don't delay in telling him so he'll know you mean no harm. Done tending the crops already? Very good. It should not be long before your room is ready. Runar! In the woods. Sin Eaters. I fear they may have the touch. Where? In the grove to the southwest. For a mercy, they've yet to wander any closer to Slitherbow. We have no need to engage. Inform the guard that no one is to set foot outside the village until they've moved on. But sorry, what if Tadia's Hearthstone? It must be retrieved before the service. All the times for Sin Eaters to appear. Are you just going to leave them alone? Under normal circumstances, we would not hesitate in striking the beasts down, but if they have the touch, I will not risk them corrupting one of our own. What was it you said about a stone? A few days past, Tadia, the child of the Knights Blessed, was slain by Sin Eaters. We succeeded in retrieving her body, but in our haste we failed to notice her necklace was gone. Strung to it was a pendant of jade, her heartstone. All the Knights Blessed are given such a stone at birth. It's the most valuable possession one can own. It's custom to present the heartstone to the deceased at the funeral as an offering to the heavens, but now What if I could find it for you? I have experience fighting Sin Eaters, and the light's corruption does not touch me like it does others. Master Matoya called you Minfilia, did she not? Are you truly the Minfilia descended from the Oracle? Even so, I dare not ask you to risk your life for the Blessed. I understand how you feel, but I can't stand by knowing that your people are in need and I can help. Please let me do this. Very well. But if the danger proves too great, you must retreat. I could never forgive myself if we were forced to hold a second service. I nearly forgot about Thancred. What if he returns before I do? I'll come with you. Thank you. With you at my side, I'm certain we can deal with them in no time at all. Go swiftly, and may the shadow keep you both. Alright. Lost, but not forgotten. Okay. I can see why that's a community meme. Okay. Look at the way we're looking around. There, the Sin Eaters. Oh, one of these. Two of these. I thought that was what the Light Warden in the like old looking place was like, but I guess those are a normal type of Sin Eater. I was hoping there would be only one. There's no way we can search for the stone without dealing with them first. Let's get to it then. What? Shouldn't we make a plan first? No, there are only two. I'll draw one of them away. You can deal with the other. Okay. Okay. Oh. Stay away, I beg of you. Say touch. Okay, yeah, this is that guy. You're from Slitherbow? Arthur must have sent you then. I was fine with that damn beetle. It's only a scratch, but I'm starting to feel numb. My vision's grown clouded. Worst of all, I dropped my only vial of serum somewhere in these damned woods. Could you find it for me? Way up there. Let's take care of this first. There you are. It's done though. I fear I was a bit careless. I'll do better next time, I promise. I'm fine. You needn't worry about me. More importantly, we had to find that Heartstone. They said it was made of jade, right? I'll search over there in the brush. Okay. It's not there. Brian? Okay. I already looked over here, right? Alright, there it is. Good lord. Did you find any luck? Yeah, buddy. Beautiful. This has to be it. You know, Thancred always says you are one of many talents, and I think I'm beginning to understand what he meant. I have much to learn if I'm able to be half the hero you are. The hero she was. I'm sorry, forget I said anything. Did you hear about this other battle? Runar and the others are probably worried. We'll take care of the rest of this Aether Current quest. Find the serum. I think this is going to be a fairly long zone. Maybe about the same as the Fairy Kingdom was split up into 2 nights, I guess. I don't know. Okay. There. Did you find it? Did you find it? You just hear him, bud. Thank you. I should feel fine now after a bit of rest. What were you thinking coming back here? You could have been killed. I had to, Vogthan. My father. Just to the bow. Thank goodness you're safe. I've begun to fear the worst. By all that is dark, you found it. We can proceed with our service as planned. These blessed gems serve not only to protect us in life, but to guide our spirits into the sunless sea thereafter. Even should we be felled by sin eaters, so long as these gems are recovered, our souls are ensured peace in the dark. That's a nice belief. Around a funeral. Words fail to express my gratitude for this kindness you have done for the Blessed. I must insist that you and your friends attend Tadia's service as honored guests. There is much still we must do to prepare, but please go and inform the others you'll be held in the darker. When you arrive, there should be an attendant present to explain the proceedings. Elheim and I learned so much about the Knights Blessed while you were away. And we helped them recover our lost heirlooms out in the woods. I know it wasn't supposed to leave, but they really needed our help. They were senators, and as long as she accompanied you, but you try to be more careful, your injuries could have been a lot worse. How did you... Let's just say a little bird told me, and it's telling me now that Elheim has business with us. Something the matter? They asked us to attend the service. Of course we'll go. It's being held in the darker, is it? We'll take care not to be late, I promise. Is the darker like what they call nighttime? Or is it a place? It doesn't actually get dark out, but maybe it gets a little darker. I don't know. The elderly woman hands you a candle. She then points over at a nearby corner where you might place it. Okay. Okay.
It seemed only right that we show our faces. May we join you?
Selk isn't like just jumping out during the funeral, right?
Let us begin. I thank you all for coming to pay respects to our fallen daughter of the night. In the light, she was known as Tadia, but in the dark, we shall remember her always as Menin. Let us each take a moment to offer her our prayers. We entrust her now to the night's sweet embrace. In darkness will she be free from pain and suffering, now and forevermore. May her soul find peace in the sunless sea of heaven, and in the love we bear for her in our hearts.
That vessel represents the night sky, the sunless sea of heaven.
call upon you now, O bringer of shadow, to lead this gentle soul unto the sea. We call upon you, O warrior of darkness, to deliver her unto paradise everlasting.
Sure.
I am told you assisted in the preparations for the service. On behalf of the Blessed, you have my sincerest thanks. The enduring legend of the Warrior of Darkness owes much to the traditions of these people. And none were more ardent in their faith than Todia. She would have been greatly moved by your presence.
You might not deliver her to the heavens, but if you could deliver the night sky to her people, the real night sky, it would be the next best thing. Their prayers would finally be answered. They could gaze up at the firmament and see their ancestors in every twinkle of the stars. We cannot allow their hopes and dreams to drown in the light. We have to bring back the dark. If we don't, who will? Forgive me, thinking of all those we have lost.
No, it's all right. We will bring back the dark.
Mayhaps sooner than later, in fact. Urianger and I finished deciphering the tablet, and its contents were most illuminating. Let us reconvene in my chambers. We have much to discuss.
Okay. Where's my light warden? I'm ready to kill something. I feel like tonight's just gonna be a lot of talking. Sadly. Sometimes Final Fantasy XIV's main story pacing is a little slow. I know they're setting up building blocks for later stories, just, you know, let's get there. Or just world building a little bit, you know. Good, you're here. Thanks to the Exarch's gift, our next course of action is now clear. Let me begin by first explaining the origins of this tablet. I initially believed it might detail the history of the Church of the First Light. Much to my surprise, it dates back to the end of the Ronkan Empire, was likely written under the direction of the reigning ruler. It was a time of strife and unceasing war with neighboring nations. With each passing day, they yielded more and more territory to their enemies. In their desperation, petitions for aid were sent out to their allies. This was one such petition. Do you think this ancient petition will somehow help us get into Ixmaya? Indeed we do. For etched into this tablet is a method by which one may prove himself an ally of the Ronkan Empire. Provided we are able to decipher said instructions, we may entreat the ruins' protectors to grant us safe passage. The problem, however, is I presently lack the resources to decipher them in their entirety. We have but one recourse. There exists a stone monument inscribed with ancient Runcan texts and translations into more modern dialect, which came into use after the fall of the Empire. I'm confident it will suit our purposes, so we need to find a Rosetta Stone. Where can we find this monument? Here in Sitya, quite close to Slitherbow, in fact. The good news ends there, however, for it is in the possession of a rather radical faction of Dark Worshippers, the Children of the Everlasting Dark. If I'm to study the monument, I must infiltrate their encampment. I have no intention of taking longer than absolutely necessary, but I will nevertheless require time to transcribe the text I need. To ensure that I will have enough, I'm afraid I must ask you and Thanker to assist me. Sure. And before you even ask, the answer is no. If we were to remain unseen, our group must be as small as possible. Alright, I'll stay here until you return. Or me fill you. We won't be long. If anything should happen, you keep her safe. Hey, Flaps. It's hard not to have those moments. The music's constantly saying it, man. And let us convene outside into the west of Slitherbow, where the path diverges. What you up to tonight, Flaps? Flapsicle! That's squaw. That's something. Always north. Ooh, where am I setting something up? 1 second. When does Diablo 2 Resurrected come out? September. Okay. Not that far away. One of my buddies at work today was telling me that he's going to be getting back into Diablo 3 with the next season, and I'm like, it might be fun to play some Diablo 3 if we have someone to play with. Possibility. I don't know when the season starts, so I gotta look into that. The encampment we seek is to the north, but it would be foolish to simply rush in. A guard has been posted at Cleric to help watch over the children. Perhaps he ought to share of their recent activity. We must tread carefully. There is a chance we may encounter them along the way. Stay close and stay alert. I would avoid confrontation if possible. Hey, how you blind? What's up, guys? They rejoice in dealing death to others, claiming that in doing so they cleanse the victims of sin and usher them into the sunless sea. I would rather not sully my hands defending myself against such madmen. Let's see, Season 24 of Diablo 3 starts... No confirmed date. Gotcha. Okay. Soon, though, probably, right? Let's check for... Yeah, alright. Be on the lookout. Oh, Jen. We're looking out. Those roots above me are suspect too. I don't know if we can get up on them. Maybe 3. Over by this tree, maybe? Maybe. Over by... Oh, there it is. Company just gave free to everyone 1 Kindle. Nice. Well, congrats on the new Kindle. Kindles are pretty sweet, especially if you like reading. Speaking of reading, you guys read any good books lately? Child of the Everlasting Dark. No, fair enough. Gotta love docks. By the blessed dark. I was dealing with faulty documentation today. It was very annoying. Like this new program we're writing at work, we have to deal with this REST API from a third-party vendor, and the documentation for their API has the types wrong on the variables. It's like, oh yeah, this is going to be an int, and then you get it and it's a string. You're like, okay, well, that's not an int, guys. You know, it's similar-ish, right? I mean, there's a number in the string, possibly not. Sometimes it's no, you know, whatever. Yeah, don't you love it when they're just wrong? Thank goodness you're unharmed. We would have arrived sooner, but we too had a rather unwelcome visit from the children. You were an acquaintance of Master Matoya then, my apologies. The children we had been acting strange of late, so I thought to take a closer look. I was careless. Strange, what have you seen? At first, there seemed to be nothing out of the ordinary, the usual gathering of ingredients for poisons from flora and fauna. But then I took notice of their venomous spiders. They've been breeding them in much greater numbers, as if they're preparing for something. I reminded you of a story about storing string as an integer because it's faster? How the hell do you store string as an integer? How does that even make sense? Oh, so it was a social security number? They store the social security number as an integer? I guess you can do that. Some of them start with 0, but it would still work. Yeah. But, yeah, okay. Any ideas as to what? It could be anything, really. If it meant the end of the blessed, nothing would be too cruel or violent for them. But perhaps we can use their present preoccupation with spiders to our advantage. If we were to introduce a threat to the nests, where they kept them, the children would be compelled to save them. Bees, for example, are a natural predator of spiders. Set them loose on the nests, and we would have our opportunity to sneak into their encampment. What a mischievous plan, I like it. With a bit of smoke, we should be able to subdue a few colonies long enough to secure their hives. Have you anything we might be able to use? We should have smoke bombs at the outpost just over there. And it's settled. Grab a few smoke bombs from the outpost and search for about beehives. I imagine the bees wouldn't take too kindly to your visit, but once they've knocked out, take the beehives and bring them back here. 2 will suffice, I should think. Like, I could kind of see storing a social security number as a number, possibly because it's always 9 digits. Like, as long as you could deal with the possibility of people typing it in with, like, dashes and spaces and all kinds of other weird things. Like, if you were using it as, like, a search index, it might be faster. I don't know of any situation where you'd really have to worry that much about space, that you're going down from, like, you know, like 1 or 2 bytes to, or, you know, down from 9 bytes or up to 4 bytes or whatever. Like, I mean, like, it depends if it's a Unicode string or ASCII, like, you know what I mean? But, like, still, it's not that much. There's not really a good reason. I don't know. Seems like extra work for very little payoff. And maybe they're in some kind of, like, extreme embedded environment where they're down to, like, worrying about single bytes. I don't know. Or search speed is of the utmost importance and they can search slightly faster if it's a number instead of a string in, like, a very large data set, maybe. I'm pushing it. Hey, it's Minus. What's up, bud? You had a hard time convincing Dev not to do it? I've got an intern right now, and he's still in college. and you know, he's a smart kid, but sometimes he worries about the weirdest things. He tries to over optimize things ahead of time. Today we were dealing with a data set, and it's about 3,000 or so records. It came to like 3 megabytes total for like the entire data set, and he was worried that it was taking up like too much memory. And I'm like, okay, well, first of all, that's not very much memory. Second, you have to load it all into memory to send it off, most likely. I mean, you don't have to, but you really should. You're just making it harder on yourself not to. Like, we're not talking about, it's never gonna get bigger. Coding interviews are harder than anything you do in the actual job. Coding interviews are harder than anything you do on a day-to-day basis in the actual job. Every now and then the actual job has a nice little fun puzzle. Although those are the fun days, honestly, in my mind. Like, when I actually have to, like, use my brain a little bit, that's a good day, you know? I get so bored sometimes, you know, just doing the same old menial tasks over and over again. If I have to write one more CRUD application today, you know. They did pattern matching puzzles instead of coding. Oh man, I remember when I was in college, I was at the very beginning of my sophomore year at Georgia Tech, and I'd taken all the introductory computer science classes, but I hadn't had like any of the real meat of it yet, right? But I got an interview for an internship at this local computer company. It wasn't IBM, but it was one of the companies that worked with them. I don't remember the name of it now, honestly. But anyways, I got an interview. And in the interview, they asked me these questions, and I was doing pretty good for a while. They worked a lot with embedded systems. And so they asked me about what happens if you try to use more memory than the system actually has. And I floundered a bit because I hadn't learned that yet. And I was so upset because I didn't end up getting the job. And literally that same semester, I had the class where they taught us about like virtual memory and paging and crashing and all that jazz. So I was like, if I had like been like 2 months later, I would have nailed that question. Gotten really good at making a basic C# data model. Yeah, no kidding. That's like every day. I do a lot of work with pushing data around in C# and making front-end web-based UIs with React. I do a lot of that every day. Over and over and over again. You just started using React? I like React. Replacing a hybrid TypeScript JSX model? Gotcha. You can still use TypeScript and obviously JSX with React. JSX, React, right. You suck at UI, UX. I don't have to worry about that. I have my own front-end guy that does all the CSS and the HTML and the UI UX for me. I mostly just make it all work. You know, he kind of isn't that good with React, and he can't do any back-end stuff, but he makes the front end shine and the UI is beautiful and all that. Yeah, lucky now. I went for years without one of those. Oh my god, I am so blessed at this point. That's because, I mean, my UIs suck. They're functional, you know, they're the programmer UI. It works, you know? As for the beehives, Thankard and I were successful in acquiring what we need. How did you fare? You code automation tools? Gotcha. There is more than enough. The children are certain to be displeased. Let us hurry before the bees begin to stir. I had a talk with my intern today about he was doing, we're having to pull data from this third-party REST API, and the endpoint for getting data from it is paged. So you put in your filters for the search, and it gives you back a result set, and it'll be like page 1 of 30, 50 items per page, up to 100 items per page. I think you can get it to do 100. And we need to like grab that data and then put it somewhere, store it in memory, send it off to somewhere, whatever. And so you have to make multiple requests, right? Because you have to ask for each page individually. You can't get it to give you more than a page at a time. You can't do more than 100 its So its first version of it, of course, is like the obvious answer, which is just do it one page at a time. And it's like, okay, so that took 10 seconds. And then you just like look at it for a second and wait. Like, do you think you could do it faster? Maybe, like than 10 seconds to get the data. Maybe, possibly. Could you think of a way you could do that? He's like, could I? Yeah. Can you? You do it in parallel? Oh, you could try doing it in parallel. Yeah, you can try that. That might work. Yeah, go figure. Alright, child settlement to the west, a place they call Woven Oath. Just show a fancy loading screen, I'm sure it'd be fine. This isn't a user-facing thing. It's happening on the back end on a server. It's fetching data as part of a background process. It's not something the user's waiting on. There's no loading screen. It didn't need to take 10 seconds, that's all. Like, most of that 10 seconds was waiting on each request, obviously. Like 90% of that time, more than 90% of that time is just waiting on the requests. You send off more than one request at a time, right? Children's settlement to the west, a place they call Woven Oath. According to the guard, there is an airway apart from the entrance which leads to the spider's nests. If the fates are kind, the way will be clear. Cool. I feel like we're just doing some like busy work quests right now to make to where there were. I feel like the quests right now are just filler to make sure this zone doesn't go by too quickly. They don't seem important to the story. Maybe I'm wrong. And that's not a dig at Final Fantasy XIV. That's like 99% of the quests in World of Warcraft out in the world. I'm just saying, like, I don't think this is part of the main story so much as it just is something you need to do. I mean, it is part of the main story, but you know what I mean. Maybe you don't know what I mean. Maybe I know what I mean, and I don't make any sense. I don't know. Hi, Stola, what's up? Up there is the airway. Do you see it? A bit far, perhaps, but we should be able to toss the bag through. Though we should probably loosen the ropes, keeping it closed, enough that it falls open when it lands inside. May I do the honors? I should do it. Now we wait. What is that? Bees! By the abyss, they're everywhere! Help! Someone help! We have to save the spiders! That sounds like our plan was working. Still, it's quite likely not all were drawn away from their posts. If she should come to blows with the children, I'll see to any signs of the struggle are concealed. Failing that, I'll create a distraction to buy Y'shtola more time. Should anyone get past me, it falls to you to guard her. Okay. Your concern is appreciated, but I sincerely doubt it'll come to that. Why do I get the feeling you enjoy the idea of my loafing about bored in the shadows? Come now, Thancred. The shadows are a fitting place for a warrior of darkness. Now, if you both are ready. Yeah, honestly, we could use more programmers at my job. We can only afford so many, sadly. I manage way more projects at this job than I ever did at any of my other ones. Basically, like everything that we've ever done. I've got countless React projects, countless C# projects, lots of ASP.NET backends, both in .NET Framework and newer ones in Core, .NET 5. 3 separate CMSs and website, somewhere around, I don't even know how many dozens of websites. And then like custom apps that run on timers to do different things, and a lot. Alright, so maybe we go over here to begin? Yeah, that's what it is. More wind right there. Aether current. Oh no, you didn't. Your company is we were to get from Subversion. I've never used Subversion. I don't think. Have I? I don't think I did. We use Git. I like it. I'm a fan of Git. Like I said, I don't really have much of a opinion on Subversion, never used it. I wonder if this is the best way to go. I don't know. Is this where I'm supposed to be? I seem to be dying. I'm guessing this is not what I was supposed to do. Yep. I just like blindly ran into like a group. I very so rarely feel challenged in my fights in this game. I just kind of automatically assume I'll be fine. Which probably isn't the best outlook to have. Oh, no, don't use my ticket. Did I use my ticket? I didn't use my ticket. Just run past everyone? I mean, am I supposed to go in there? Is that where I'm supposed to go? Pay more attention to what I'm doing here for a second. Seems like I am. It's not normal for Final Fantasy to actually have me fight enemies that weren't just spawned up by the quest. That's not something Final Fantasy does. That's why I was just like so caught off guard by it and walked into my doom. Because this entrance is up high, right? So we have to go on this entrance. Oh, they're all optional fights since you can run past their release range. A weird way to do it. It's like back in here for that A3 current maybe. So I have a question for you, Minus. How does crafted gear stack up versus raid gear in Final Fantasy's endgame? If I were to like become a level 80, you know, whatever makes the gear for my class at the time in crafting, would it compare to raid gear? Really, you just run by all of them, huh? Who are you trying to attack with that? You didn't even get close enough to me. Come on, bud. The font of seeing suggests this is a chamber for prayer. At the very least, they would not place this near potential distractions from their worship. Perhaps the monument is further in. Crafted gear is the same level as current raid tier normal mode gear. During the patch after that, you can then augment the crafted gear past the normal raid gear, but still lower than savage raid. Gotcha, but it gets you pretty close, huh? Interesting. Do you have to like do you have to go somewhere special to get like the recipes for the high-end gear, or how does that work? Yes, this is it. I will be but a moment. Keep watch over the entryway. I ask because, like, as a crafter in Final Fantasy, you level up, but you can't really like you level up separate from your fighting jobs. So like theoretically you could be max level crafter but not max level at fighting, and so like to have you like have to go to a dungeon or something to get a recipe doesn't seem as likely. In-game crafting uses a currency called scripts, which is like tombstones of crafting that you can buy expert recipes with. Oh, okay. On second thought, would you mind examining the murals of these walls while I look over this? At a glance, I can tell they are old, predating the founding of the Blessed and the Children, in fact. We're not likely to come here a second time, which would behoove us to learn all that we can. We also need very high stat crafting gear to have the stats to craft in-game battle gear. Well, that makes sense. What was I say? Oh, WoW is making a change to their raid gear a bit in retail for the new raid coming out. What's it called? Chains of... What was it? I don't remember. Sanctum of Domination is coming out with 9.1 on June 29th. So next week, next Tuesday, WoW's releasing 9.1 and the Sanctum of Domination, which is going to be the new raid for Shadowlands. But they're making a change to the way that gear drops in raids. So normally in raids, you have bind on pickup gear that binds to your character when you pick it up, and you can't trade it away, right? And then you have bind on equip gear that if you put it on, it binds to your character, but if you don't put it on, you could trade it or put it on the auction house, you could sell it, you could give it to a friend. So there's some raid gear that is like shareable. Well, they're limiting that. So like in the new raid, only 2 gear items per type of armor are going to be bind on equip. And they're going to be much rarer drops. So they're making it a lot harder to like buy raid gear with gold. You'll have to like actually go do the raid to get most of the gear. Because there's a lot of gear that you can like buy it if you have the gold for it, right? Final Fantasy 14 only crafted gear is bind on equip, everything else is untradeable, sellable. Yeah, that's not true in WoW. Examine the murals and take note of what events they may depict. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out. Target a mural and examine it with left click. Also in WoW, a lot of high-end crafted gear is bind on pickup, which basically makes it... This piece of tailoring gear is like even better than normal, but you have to actually be a tailor to wear it. Like you had to have made it yourself. You can't buy it from another tailor. It's like it's a benefit of being a tailor that you can make that. All right. Examine this mural. Primitive mural. The mural appears to be ancient. A warrior in the middle stands triumphant over what appears to be a creature of shadow. Other figures surround the warrior, rejoicing in their victory. The mural appears to be very old. A ruler sits atop a throne, attended by their subjects. The mural appears to be fairly old. Knights shield themselves as their comrades from encroaching darkness. The central figure is considerably faded.
These paintings, they seem familiar. Depictions of heroes throughout history. The Age of Gods, the Empire of Ronka, and this. There was a man, a researcher who pored over these pieces. He offered us work when we needed it. Slaying beasts, delivering provisions. A funny old bugger he was. But he had a good heart. He believed this first painting dated back to a time of myth and legends. A tribute to the heroes of a long-forgotten era.
Considering this place is called Ronka, I wonder if it's a reference to Final Fantasy V. Like, they fought Xdath, and he, like, sucked up parts of the world in the void. Could be, like, the darkness. Yeah.
The story went that it was rediscovered by an explorer from Ronka, who was so struck by its majesty that a second painting was commissioned, commemorating the heroes of their day.
But in Final Fantasy V, Ronka is already, like, a fallen... Like, there's just ruins. There's no... Ronka doesn't exist anymore, even in 5.
one day you'll all be here too, he said. Heroes immortalized forever. Maybe I'll paint you myself? I had a good laugh at that. We were only trying to make our way after all. Being heroes couldn't have been further from our minds. But it seems he actually went and did it. Before or after the flood, I wonder.
So this is Ardbert and his crew.
Rather faded, isn't it, compared to the others? Or did someone try to scrape it off the wall? Well, maybe the man himself once he came to his senses. Do you suppose your deeds will warrant an addition to this collection? Or some other kind of monument?
There you are. I have everything I need. Let us quit this place. Is something the matter? We should go. The others are waiting.
I believe I now have everything needed to finish deciphering the tablet. Tell me, Alheim, did the murals appear to be of any significance? Depictions of heroes from the ages of gods, the Ronkan Empire, and immediately before the flood. Very astute observations. Perhaps in another lifetime you could be a curator of antiquities. There has been no bearing on the task at hand. Perhaps the knowledge may prove to be of use in the future. Cool. Another thing in Final Fantasy, in World of Warcraft is like right now I talk about how some of the gear I can make as a tailor is like some of my best in slot pieces for my warlock, right? Some of those recipes you can't just get from the trainer, like, but you don't have like a script system like you do in Final Fantasy 14. Instead, like, some of the recipes drop in like heroic dungeons, and then later on there'll be recipes that drop in the raids, right? So like you have to do the raid to get the recipe for this epic tailoring piece or something. And so unless you're raiding or someone was willing to sell it, you're not gonna be able to make that, right? And then as you get into like the later tiers of raiding, a lot of times what they'll have is they'll have gear that you can make from the raids, but they take reagents that only drop in the raids. So like you'll need the crafting components actually drop in the raids, right? Or they'll drop in like a super high level zone they add later on in the expansion. Like if they add a whole new zone to the game, sometimes there'll be special components that drop from there that you need for like these high-end recipes. And that's the way that like crafting stays relevant over the course of the expansion. Like for instance, I'm an enchanter. I'm a tailor and enchanter on my warlock. Enchantments are important throughout the expansion because every time you get a new piece of gear, you want to get it enchanted, and the enchantment makes it slightly stronger, right? And one of the most popular enchantments in Burning Crusade is Mongoose. You can put it on a person's weapon. It's a really good like agility enchantment and makes you attack faster. It's good for so many classes. And the recipe for that enchantment actually drops in Karazhan off the Morose boss fight. So you have to like get the recipe to drop off the boss in Karazhan and then get the recipe for your enchanter, and then you can learn it, and then you can start giving people that enchantment, which is amazing enchantment. You make a lot of money selling it. Just you can go in town and be like, I got Mongoose, who wants to buy it, you know? Or you can just give it to your guild members, you know? Alright, anyways. Let us hurry to Slitherbow. The others are waiting. After we've returned, the two of you should rest a while. No doubt Runar will be eager to have you sample his cooking. As soon as I discover anything of import, you'll be the first to know. We still haven't done the Stormblood Trial series. I know we have. We need to go back and do that at some point. For sure. We got a lot of cleanup to do. I'm kind of focused on the story right now because I really want to see what happens. But it's not like when I get to the end of the story, we're going to stop playing Final Fantasy XIV. We're going to keep doing this, you know? We'll do everything. We had a lot of time before Endwalker comes out to clean up on missed content and maybe work on some in-game stuff or level up some other jobs. I don't really know when a good place will be to sort of like call it the halfway point for the night, because I don't think we're gonna finish the woods tonight, you know? Elheim, the guard told me you left with Master Metoya to the Woven Oath, and no sooner do you return than she locks herself away in her chambers without so much as a word. She knows how I worry when she leaves without telling me. She is safe, and that's all that matters. You must be hungry after such a journey. Why not have a seat there by this fire? The stew will be soon ready. The Aether quest? Yeah. I could level my white mage. True. Say, aren't you Elheim? Master Metoya speaks quite highly of you. I'm sure you've more important things to concern yourself with, but I need help, and there's no one else I can turn to. It's my friend, Quinfert. Ever since we were young, he's always excelled in the arcane arts. In fact, even now he's training to become a priest of the Knights Blessed. Perhaps the greatest of his gifts is clairvoyance, but I fear he's taken a toll on his mind of late. Always been different, not like this. He's changed, frighteningly so. The others think him no stranger than usual, but they're wrong. I mean to prove it. You don't know him like we do, which is precisely why I'd like you to talk with him. To get an objective opinion on the matter. Assuming we find out what ails him, I hope there's a way to cure it. Okay, well, look at this first real quick. Yeah, we're on an unwanted proposal. Well, I don't know. You say like 2 more quests to the halfway point? Okay. As foretold, the will of the wood, we meet at last. I've been expecting you, Elheim. No one else must hear this, not yet. My dreams are plagued with visions of the future. Calamity is upon us, and each night I witness our impending doom. But hope is not yet lost, for the dreams speak to me of a savior in the form of a great serpent. It was revered as a god in the days of the Ronkan Empire. And I believe it yet lives in the great wood, waiting to be roused from slumber. It has many names. Many would call it the Protector, some the Great Destroyer. The will of the woods demands that I find this great serpent. It is our only hope of salvation. I have been chosen, Elheim, to be the savior of Slitherbough. So this is where you two have been hiding. Now that you've gotten to know one another, what do you two think? Dreams are an ill omen. You believe him? Oh dear, I fear I've made a terrible mistake. Please don't tell me you two have communed with the will of a star or some such nonsense. Valan, please, we are in the midst of a most important discussion. When you first began talks of these dreams and delusions, I held my peace, but I won't let you drag anyone else into this. Such narrow-minded thinking is why only I have been chosen by the wood, by the great serpent. Yes, Quinfert, whatever you say. You've mocked me for the last time, Valan. I will summon the great serpent this very day and prove to you my truth of my visions. Please don't summon a primal. Quinfert, wait, where are you going? He doesn't have any crystals, does he? To meet with misfortune would likely bring him to his senses, but he's my friend. I can't stand the thought of him getting hurt out there. Will you help me look for him? If anything should happen to him, I'll never forgive myself. Alright, fine. We'll go look for him next time we leave town. Let's continue the main story while we're standing here. Hey, Nova.
Strange. The others on patrol should have returned by now. Our food will be overcooked if we wait any longer. We will just have to start without them. Would you call Master Matoya and the others?
I tire of these games, Urianger. Why do you pretend you cannot see it? The blessing may spare her the fate of becoming a Light Warden. But you cannot be blind to the nascent corruption. She is not as she was in the Source.
Oh my. I'm not becoming a Light Warden, but I'm getting filled up with the light anyways.
Though I have no proof, I fear that the light which poured forth from the Wardens was not negated at all. I fear it was absorbed, that she has been suffused with their light.
What's gonna happen if I kill all of
this
them?
possibility, I dare not speak until more is known.
What's gonna happen if I kill all the Light Wardens, though? Too late
By the
now.
time you deign to enlighten us, it may be too late, if it is not already. Urianger, I know full well, after all these years, that you have only the best of intentions. But that does not make it any easier to put my faith in a man so infatuated with secrecy. I have had my suspicions ever since the Exarch bade you speak that day. But now I must ask. The 8th Umbral Calamity and all that followed. Everything you claim to have seen. Did you?
Oh. Oh.
Help! Someone help!
Oh, what?
The Ilmorans have come for us! We're under attack!
Oh. So that was a bad conversation. Let's see what's going on in Yulmore. Right, he's meeting with Vothry.
Lord Vothry, how good it is to see you. How long has it been? Not since your inauguration, unless I'm mistaken. Too long, at any rate. May I say how humbled I am to be invited not only into your city, but your home. You are as generous as ever.
And you as disingenuous. Let us dispense with the pleasantries. This merry band of dissidents people are calling Warriors of Darkness, they have slain Sin-Eaters, and by all accounts the Crystarium is complicit in their villainy. And now I hear reports of your people obstructing my soldiers, so I must ask, what exactly do you think you are doing?
I might ask you the same thing. It should be clear, even to you, that defeating the Light Wardens represents the world's only hope of survival. Even now, the people of Lakeland and Ilmeg rejoice in the return of night. For 100 years, they yearned for a means to fight back against the Sin-Eaters, and at last they have found one. Yet you choose to stand idly by and do nothing. Why?
Why? Because this hope you cling to is nothing more than a fever dream, an exercise in futility. Even should you slay the Sin-Eaters, the world as we know it is beyond salvation. With what little land and resources remain, the people would be free only to starve. Before long, they would turn to violence, then to war, and ultimately usher themselves unto oblivion. They require a firm hand to shepherd them from the edge. The hand of a king, nay, a god. I will see their dreams fulfilled, their wishes granted. I will give them peace, order, and they shall never want for bliss. Men are fickle creatures who entertain vague ideals without the faintest notion what they cost. But a little fear can go a long way towards helping them realize what it is they truly need. Sanctuary. And they shall find none in this world save that which I afford them. That is why the Sin-Eaters exist. To unite the world under my dominion.
A paradise fit to grace the 8th Umbral era.
What was that?
A minor epiphany, nothing more. You have always held sway over those around you. Those who defy you must submit or die. What sits before me is the inevitable result of bloated privilege and unchecked power. But man is more resilient than you think. His achievements are not the product of violence and bloodshed, but compassion and understanding. This calamity is but another crisis to be overcome. And we will, once we eliminate the Sin-Eaters.
You poor deluded fool. These people care not for the morrow. They care only for the now. And the contentment they lack. What good is a paradise to them if it is 1,000 years in the making? Or even 100?
You underestimate them, Lord Forthry. They see further than you think. I have beheld it in the blood and sweat and tears of those who would sacrifice everything for a future they may never know, that their children may never know. I have beheld it in the hopes and dreams of those who came before, which we bequeath to those who come after, that they might in turn build upon the foundations laid by our forebears. These are the bonds which hold man and his world together, not your gilded chains, and I will resist your every effort to shackle him.
In summary, you will continue to support the villains hunting my Sin-Eaters?
With tremendous enthusiasm, for I have faith in the future they would build.
Why do I even bother? Fools, the lot of you! So naive! So painfully predictable! Did you imagine I did not know your mind? That I would wait until after this meeting to dispatch my forces? Even as we speak, they march to the Sin Eater's defense. Insurrection will not be tolerated! The people of this world are mine to rule, mine to command!
Why does he march to the Sin Eater's defense instead of just marching to the Crystarium and putting an end to this?
And you are no exception! What? How did he... Insolent swine! I will not stand for this! Do you...
Isn't that like the exact same trick that Emmett Selk used earlier? To appear as like a hologram or whatever? Let's see how Master Matoya deals with the Yulmoran army.
You speak for the Knights Blessed?
I do. I presume that is your doing. If you've come to parley, I must insist that you first return him to us.
You're in no position to make demands. By Lord Vorthry's decree, Raktika now falls under the governance of Yulmore. You will henceforth answer to us.
Is that so? And the children of the Everlasting Dark have acquiesced to this madness.
We have reached an accord, yes. Too many times have the Knights Blessed shunned Yulmore's overtures of friendship. The risk that you harbor hostile intentions has grown too great to ignore. Therefore, his lordship has claimed dominion over this forest and bestowed executive authority upon the children of the Everlasting Dark.
In his wisdom, Lord Vorthry has agreed to recognize ours as the only permissible expression of dark worship. It's one true faith. You and your false creed are a blight on these woods. A foul, unholy corruption that must be cleansed. Little wonder the Warrior of Darkness visits both Lakeland and Ilmeg, yet shuns Raktika. Your perverted teachings hold blessed Shadow at bay.
You have accepted the yoke of Yulmore to spite us, then? Fools. Darkness will never return to these skies while they hold sway.
Those of you minded to obey his lordship are to make for Woven Oath with all haste. We will leave you, that you may have time to prepare.
Woven Oath? Are you suggesting we abandon our fate to join those zealots?
What has your faith afforded you thus far? Nothing! We will guide you along the righteous path.
And should we refuse?
Anyone found here upon our return will be considered a traitor to Yulmore, and dealt with as such.
We will discuss these developments after I have tended to our casualty.
Okay. Well, the story in this area just got more interesting. The guard has been afflicted with the most terrible and efficacious poison. We have attempted all manner of healing incantations, alas his condition remains unchanged. At present we can but slow the poison's advance. I pray it will afford us sufficient time to find a cure. How fareth the young guard? The poison spread throughout his system long before he was brought here. At present, there is naught we can do but try to ease his pain. Do not blame yourselves, my friends. All that can be done has been done. Even had we reached him sooner, it would have made little difference. The children employed countless poisons. Finding a suitable antidote is nigh a possible task. What of the rest of the blessed? How have they taken the news of Yulmore's generous proposition? With anger and dismay, we cannot hope to oppose them and the children. I considered a convocation of all the Knights Blessed that we might consider their ultimatum, but I know how they will answer. Master Metoya, I am truly sorry. We cannot abandon our faith. But there is no reason for you to suffer for our decision. Your work is not yet done. You still have time to flee. Flee. I am not wont to run from my troubles. In fact, with Elheim's arrival, I am minded to take the offensive. The Yulmoren's presence here plainly stems from a desire to protect the Light Warden. I say we seek it out and slay the creature before they return. Were darkness to fall over Rak'tika, they would have no cause to remain. All of which is rather easier said than done, unless of course you finally deciphered that tablet. As a matter of fact, I have, and with it we can prepare everything we need to enter XIV. What say you all? We will need to act quickly, but I believe it can be done. We cannot deny our fate, but one course lieth before us. We slay the Light Warden. Good. I'll leave the blessed in your capable hands, Renar. Very well. I see there is no changing your mind. By all that is dark, I swear to keep the blessed safe. According to the tablet, we will first need to obtain a seal used to identify the allies of Rumka in times past. One such seal should be waiting for us in a complex of underwater ruins not far from here. You have some experience with subaquatic excursions, do you not? This should prove a simple task for you. The ruins we seek are at the bottom of Lake Tusi Mekta. While you see to that, Minfili and I will remain here to help shore up Slitherbal's defenses. Your aid would be greatly appreciated. Okay. You're saying when it sends us to the eastern half, that's the halfway point? Okay. It's Nova! Alright, so we can grab this on the way there, too. We can find this aether current that's off to the west while we're over here looking in these underwater ruins too. Surveying. Over there, I think I see him. Might get stolen in a second. Let's finish off this Aether Current quest. Enough, Quinford. Even you should recognize the danger of wandering off alone in these woods. You really have gone mad, haven't you? Mock me all you like, Valan, but now you'll bear witness to the truth with your own eyes. Behold the divine protector of Ronka, the great serpent of legend. There was a big, like, serpent dragon-esque boss in the Ronka ruins. No, it can't be. That's the great serpent? It was on, was it Archaeoavis? Protect the Earth Crystal in the Ronka ruins. It was like a big, this dude. There is a serpent in the Ronka ruins in Final Fantasy V, you know? But, it looks a little bit different than this dude. I see nothing great about that. What is it exactly? I refuse to believe that it is a serpent. Please tell me you're joking. Do not be jealous, Valan. The will of the woods works in mysterious ways, and this serpent is the key to our deliverance. Okay. Or more. Okay, this still has the plus on it. What is this? It doesn't say it gives an Aether Current. Is this... Blue quests without Aether Currents are prereqs for Beast Tribe unlock. Okay, we're gonna hold off on that then for now. We'll keep it in mind. Oh, we'll grab it because we grabbed the pixie. All right. Oh, great serpent, I beseech you, grant me the strength to defend the Knights Blessed, to stay the impending calamity that threatens the Great Wood. Scream! Great serpent of Ronka. I can't believe this is happening. Look, if you want to keep that thing as a pet, I won't stop you, but really should return home. Is for a gathering-focused beast tribe? Gotcha. No, you're right. To remain here any longer could place the great serpent in danger. The question is, how do we transport it? I will not stand to see the great serpent debase itself, crawling on its belly like a snake. Just pick the damn thing up and let's go. By the abyss, Valan, show some respect. I should be the one to carry it, but I fear I am yet unworthy of such a burden. But you could protect the great serpent from the threats of the Great Wood, be they beasts or sin eaters. And now you mean to drag Master Matoya's guest into your schemes? What will the others think when she walks into Slitherbough hoisting that thing about? Here, put it in the sack. I will do no such thing. It's clean, dry, and most importantly, it can bring it into Slitherbough unnoticed. Fine. Listen, Elheim, the fate of the Great Wood quite literally rests in your hands. It goes without saying we can't afford any mishaps. I suppose there's no choice but to help him. I'll go ahead and find a place to keep his pet away from prying eyes. Scream! Deliver the snake-filled sack to Valan and Slitherbough. You have 150 seconds to complete the task. Should you fail, return to the starting location and begin anew. Be wary of attacks from enemies, which will sap your strength. Can I just teleport? I'm literally carrying a sack. Can I not mount up? I guess. Alright, I guess we're gonna go do this real quick. Didn't realize I was starting a timed quest. Growing weary of each passing second. The drow, apparently. Here should be safe, for now at least. Let's have another look at the Great Serpent, shall we? Good work, you two. Oh, can you believe it? The Divine Protector of the Great Wood is here in Slitherbough. Within a sack of burlap did the champion carry the divine beast, and beneath the slithering boughs of the Great Wood did they find shelter. Chapter 31, verse 5, the Gospel of Quinford. He's writing his own gospel. Pay him no mind. He's merely referring to his dream diary. For the last time, it is not a diary. Have you forgotten how the gospel foretold the events of that fateful day 2 years ago? How can I when you remind me of it every day? You continue to doubt me, but soon you'll see. Together, the Great Serpent and I will save this village and all of Greatwood from oblivion. Three. What have we gotten ourselves into? That was glorious. Glorious, I say. Alright, we're gonna leave him alone for now. Let's get back out there. We've got underwater ruins to search. There's music. Oh no. Oh, there it goes. I was about to say, what's this dragon thing? Oh, it's a mount. I thought it was a monster. There you are. Ready for a swim? The seal we seek should be stored in a chamber somewhere inside the ruins beneath the lake. However, the entrance is seemingly protected by a subtle locking mechanism rooted in the symbolism of Ronkin culture. The Ronkins sought to live in harmony with nature and considered certain animals to be sacred. Foremost in their pantheon was the snake, portrayed as the protector of the wood, the arbiter of life and death, and below it were four others, equal in rank: the coral, the colibri, the opo-opo, and the wolf. Characterized as bringers of liberty, words, enlightenment, and harmony, respectively. To open the chamber containing the seal, the tablet states that one must pay due deference to three of these beasts while placing one's palm on the monuments wrought in their image. And this must be done in a specific sequence. If my interpretation is correct, the order can be discerned from the three commandments which follow. Give praise unto the snake. By its strength do our lands prosper. Be as the opo-opo, rival thy kin. As all parts seek betterment, so too does the whole. Be as the wolf, move as one. Peace comes to all who seek harmony with their kin. The tablet says not of the placement, size, or appearance of the monuments, alas. Hopefully all will become clear when you reach the bottom of the lake. Go safely. Okay. Isn't that symbol on Y'shtola means that she'll repeat the hint to you? So it's snake, opopo, wolf. That's pretty straightforward. Before we go down there, I'm kind of looking for this Aether current. A little bit farther away than I thought, though. Let's just go down here real quick. Okay. Farther down, huh? Okay. Go down here and look for a cave. Uh-huh. As predicted. There's our serpent statue. A statue of a snake. Place a palm on it. Okay. Don't have to remember because it's literally pointing you at the right ones in the right order, it looks like. Feel a little sorry for that guy up top. It looks like he was floating right over the point and just kind of sitting there like he didn't think to look for a cave lower down, I guess. Maybe he was Googling it. I hope he finds it. Good luck to him and all that. This is the coral statue. We don't want this one. Ah, here we go. This is the one we want. This is the one. That's Trixie. See, some people are going to touch that one and they shouldn't touch it. Okay. Now we gotta find the wolf. Scream! I keep thinking that song's doing the dun 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 dun. You know? What's the name of that song? Ah, I can't think of it. Similar. You can mount up from here. What am I doing? It's still not. I'm still not used to the idea of mounting underwater making you faster. I gotta get used to that at some point. And there we go. Getting our palm on. And look at that. Oh yeah. The door opens to reveal a pedestal upon which rests a medallion. You take it and secure it inside your clothing. That'll be our seal. We're like right on top of the Aether current here. And literally, there it is. All right. I think it's faster to go under the water and then mount up to go across this and then pop back up when we get close to Y'shtola than to try and like swim over there. So. It is. It looks like it's detecting aether currents over here now, so that might be all the ones on this side. Which, yeah, so 2 more quests on the other side, 1 quest for completing the zone probably, and half the ones outside, so we're about halfway on aether currents. That seems about right. Did you find it? Indeed. This medallion, it bears the owl insignia of the Empire. There can be no doubt this is the seal of Ronka. Well done, Elheim. We can begin our preparations to enter Ixmaya in earnest. Bearing the seal, it should be possible to enter Ixmaya unmolested by its guardians. I will go ahead to Slitherbound and inform the others. When you have recovered from your exertions, meet us in the cavern leading east out of the village. I guess this is where we're going to be hitting our halfway point, it looks like. We're heading east out of the village, right? So I guess this will probably be a good place to stop for tonight, with the goal of on Sunday finishing the rest of the Raktika Greatwood and slaying its Light Warden as we explore the eastern half here. The blue spirit weapons look pretty cool. Not sure about the dancing one though. What are blue spirit weapons? Oh, the coffer I just got. I mean, we could find out. It's 403, and the weapon we have is 400, so it's gonna be like such a tiny upgrade. I almost feel like I should save the coffer for a different job. You know? I don't know. I'm torn. What was the last weapon coffer we got? It was 395, so it's about the same. Yeah, let's open it. It doesn't even it doesn't even recommend it. Oh, did it not fit in here? Maybe it didn't fit in here. It didn't fit. Okay. There it goes. Blue Spirit Glaive. Yeah, so it's like exactly the same damage. 3 more dexterity. Like it's almost exactly the same stat wise. They're blue. They got like blue crystal blades on them. That's kind of cool, I guess. Alright. And we'll stop right here for the night. We'll head into do the eastern half on Sunday. Yeah. Alright. Well, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. And we will pick back up with this on Sunday. Tomorrow night will likely be more, I don't know, Nier maybe. Yeah? Get some more Nier in. We are getting close, I think, to finishing the key to the Shadow Lord's dungeon, and then we can head towards the first ending, maybe? I think. If I remember right. I honestly, I'm getting to the point in the original Nier where I don't remember that much, so we'll see how it goes. So anyway, see you guys tomorrow night. Thanks for watching. Good night. Bye.